Yet again, one of my crack team of researchers, as I like to call them, or people that send me stuff on Messenger, have come up trumps. It's a video, I think it's off TikTok, and it shows I nearly said it then, a Ford Mach-E, which sometimes they call that word that is a horse that shouldn't be used in relation to this car ever. And here is a prime example of why it shouldn't be used ever with this car. Well, look, easiest way to do it, watch the video. Here it is. Right. Many questions. Firstly, let's get the thing out of the way. It's an EV, right? That's for granted. Most importantly, no one was injured. Miracle. Some sort of divine intervention there that whoever was in that red Mitsubishi that did a flip in midair and landed with all his airbags gone off. Mitsubishi, you've done a good job of your airbags there, my loves, because how he wasn't seriously injured, I don't know. But apparently, he walked away. He was fine. The guy in the Mach-E, he was all right. They both just had a bit of bruising, bit of whiplash, apparently. So that's good. That's covered that. That's out the way. But, I mean, I have many questions. So let's go through them one by one as the video plays in my mind. One, is it the central reservation, or not the central reservation, whatever, the concrete barrier? Because that wasn't the central reservation. I know you like detail floaters, so let's get it right. He hit the concrete barrier on the right of his vehicle, right? We can all agree with that. Or, as that woman from Motorway said the other day, vehicle. Why hasn't the automatic braking system kicked in? Why hasn't lane assist kicked in? Why hasn't all the safety measures that they now have on not just milk floats, on every car? Why hasn't that kicked in? That's question number one. Two, the guys clearly thought, I need to stop the car, so I'll steer in to the concrete barrier. Good move, my man. I like that. Bit of concrete's always going to slow your car down. However, when the bloke filming goes alongside him, he sat there with his hands like that, praying to whatever personal God that he currently sees fit. Though, you know, look, I don't want to be an atheist on this, but if God existed, your car wouldn't have fucked up in the first place, causing you to shit yourself, would it? So anyway, let's forget about religion and let's get back to the subject in hand. So he's doing that. Now, if that was me driving that car and that barrier was trying to slow me down, I would be ramming that steering wheel as hard as I could continuously in an attempt to make it dig in to the little cracks in between to slow me down a little bit quicker. Not going, oh, well, I'm at the barrier now. And not only that, if he's hitting the barrier and he's praying, how come it's not steering away from the barrier? Because that would naturally happen. So what's happened there? I don't have any answers to that either. So none of his settings have worked. None of his systems have worked. None of the driver assistance programs have worked. Allegedly. He's not using the steering wheel. He's still, though weirdly, the car is still travelling in a perfect straight line following that barrier. So, and the wheels must have been turned to the right, because as soon as he leaves the barrier, the car veers off violently to the right, hits that Mitsubishi, flips it up. So, was the steering locked on the right? And if so, how was the steering locked? Was it a computer error? Do milk floats have manual steering locks? I honestly don't know the answer to that. Answers in the comments there, look, down there. Do milk floats have the old-fashioned, like mine now, look? And you put the key in, and then it frees it up. They don't have keys anymore. Do you know, that's a question I genuinely don't know the answer to. Do they have manual steering locks? Either way, that car is now facing that way and locked into facing that way, scraping that barrier all the way along. Because if it wasn't, but then if Matey's praying already, did he not see the end of the barrier coming? Did he have his eyes shut? You can't tell. Maybe he had his eyes shut. Because when you get to the end of the barrier, why didn't he go, oh shit, I ought to try and steer away from this a bit. Otherwise, it's going to wang me right across the road into oncoming traffic. And that's another thing that doesn't make sense. If he's driving on the left, why is traffic coming from the right? That doesn't make any sense. None of this makes any sense. It's one of the most bizarre videos I've ever seen. It just... And this isn't really an anti-milk float thing. It's more of a anti... all the new technology that you've put in the car clearly hasn't fucking worked. Or has it worked? And apparently, and I have researched this, according to Ford, in an emergency, if you keep pressing the parking brake button continuously, eventually it will come on. Now, granted, I would imagine, A, they don't tell you that when you pick one up from the showroom. B, you have to be very sad to read the manual to find that out. So C, he probably didn't know. So if you have one of these and you're watching this, apparently if you press the parking brake continuously, if you're about to die headlong going into a wall that you can't control, then if you do that, that should slow you down a bit. As would a manual handbrake. But of course, we don't have them anymore. They're obsolete. And I have to say, given the fact that mine in this car right now needs a caliper changing on the back of it because it's seized up, I could probably see the advantage of an electric handbrake at this point because I haven't got much slack. But surely one of the most bizarre videos you will ever watch today or indeed any other day. And all it does is raise more questions than answers. And I don't have the answers. I simply have questions, which is pretty much standard for every video I ever do. But nevertheless, the fact that it's a milk float means that I now know, right? Right, hey, here, I'll let you into a secret. I'll lean into the camera for this. Right, I'm going to put in the thumbnail, you know, the picture that you get up that accompanies the video, right? And in the title, that it was a milk float that did this. Because what I want is all the floaters, right, who don't watch these videos. They really don't watch them. They just respond to the thumbnail. And why am I fucking whispering? Jesus, I've gone mental. Right, they don't respond to the thumbnail. And they don't respond. They don't watch the video. They just respond to it. So they see what I post and they go, oh, he's done it again. He has no clue about anything. So what I'm going to do, right, is put it in the title and put it in the thumbnail that it was a milk float and it's the milk float's fault. I've just explained for the last 8 minutes that we don't know if it was the milk float's fault. This could have happened to any car with any driver assistance program. It could be the driver. It could be a number of things. We just don't know. I don't know. And I've told you I don't know. Right? We've established that. I guarantee you they will pile on like fuck on this. And they will go, oh, you don't know this, you don't know that. It was this, it was that. Oh, I've heard them, blah, 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 blah. The driver, this. And then they'll go on about all the fail-safe things that I've just mentioned right at the beginning of this video. All that stuff that I've just mentioned that I said, well, why didn't that work? Why didn't that work? We don't know. Surely that should have kicked in. Where was this? Where was that? They're now going to go at me about that. So when they do, right, and it's inevitable that they will, please, because I don't reply to them, remember, but you can. Just put underneath, you didn't watch the fucking video, did you? You didn't watch the fucking video, did you? And let's see how many times we can get that to come up. You didn't watch the fucking video, did you? Because they don't. I know they don't. Because I've started putting traps in to see if they do. And this is a perfect example. Because the whole video is basically saying, we don't know if it was the milk float's fault. Because we don't. But that doesn't mean we can't wind up the floaters. It's Friday after all. It's Floater Friday. Come on, let's wind up the floaters. I will provide the firework. I will provide the ignition. All I need to do is for you to provide the oohs and the ahs as it goes all over social media. That sounds like a fair deal. Now let's have some fun. Meanwhile, I'm going to record another video, and I'm not changing my t-shirt. So the next video you see on the next day, I'll be wearing exactly the same t-shirt, all right? And I won't have moved, but it'll be Saturday, not today. Sound fair? Future my arse.